because do you track macros?
No.
Neither of us track macros. It's working out pretty well.
Say so. Especially for you.
Ready or not, welcome to another episode of the CBG Radio Podcast. We got a fun one today. You're probably undereating and you don't even realize it. And Gab's going to tell you about what signs there are that you are undereating. But before we get to that, we need to do our housekeeping things and tell you to subscribe. If you're watching this video and you have not subscribed to this channel, you are a bum. I'm just going to say it. You're a bum. Kidding, you're not a bum, but subscribing to the channel helps us out. And then obviously liking it helps with the algorithm. It puts it out in front of more people. So like the video, even if you don't like what we have to say, you know what? Maybe you just feel bad that Gab has to deal with Justin and I, and you're just going to give a sympathy like. We're all cool with sympathy likes, okay? So just like the video, all right? All right, so that out of the way. Gab, let's get to why is this come up on your radar so much?
Yeah.
Like why are you passionate about undereating?
So it's interesting, right? I speak to a lot of people every day who come to me and say, I really want to reduce my body fat. I really want to lose some weight. I want to improve the way that I look. But I feel like I'm not really eating all that much. And so people tend to think that in order to have lower body fat, to weigh less, they need to eat less. But sometimes people have been dieting chronically for 10, 15, 20 years, and eating less is not always the answer. So a lot of people, even though they're unhappy with their body or their body composition, are eating way too little for their actual needs. So they're chronic undereaters, and it could be a problem. So, how you look and how you feel about your body is not necessarily indicative of how much you are eating. And sometimes the answer is to just eat more of the right stuff.
Shocking. Just eat more. All right. So we will start with the first sign, which this is like, we're probably a lot of CrossFitters watch this, right? That's a lot of the population that CBG works with. So we don't want this one. Workouts suck. Oh man, we are like performance minded, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about our workouts being horrible.
I mean, if you feel like you cannot get through a WOD, if you feel like you are unable to improve your strength, if you feel like you are exhausted all the time, you always have these nagging injuries, like things are just not going well, there's a very, very high probability that you are not fueled. I know so many people who train in the morning and they go in without having eaten anything beforehand. People who are doing longer workouts, right? They're working out for 90 minutes to 2 hours because they're doing some extra work to try to improve before the open, but they're not doing any kind of intra workout carbohydrate. People are under fueled, and then they don't have the energy to perform, and it is just causing them to spin their wheels, not improve it at CrossFit, not improve in any of their workouts or their strength. They don't have the energy to do any of the extra stuff that maybe would benefit them outside of class, and they're just spinning their wheels and getting nowhere.
Yeah. That was so actually confession. I actually forgot my carbs before I left this morning to work out. I know.
Days ruined.
Don't look at me.
Just quit.
Don't give me the shame look. So yeah, it was the bench press felt a little bit heavier today. So
yeah, I believe it. I think also too, people forget that when you go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, you don't get a blank slate. So if you were under eating yesterday, you don't just wake up in the morning at like a fresh blank page, like you're under fueled going into the day. So then it's even more important to eat and to get those carbs in. So, keeping in mind that like your performance today is often based on your fueling from yesterday is really important as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is a good time to bring up the CBG 2+2 rule.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go
so
for it.
The 2+2 rule, for those of you out there, and honestly following this rule, like if you're in a place where you're like, I don't know, you've been doing CrossFit a while and you go in these waves of like super motivated, super not. I have this happening all the time to me, right? I'm just like, I don't have a goal that I'm really going for, but I just want to stay consistent right now. I want to get into a flow and just make sure it's built, and just like push myself in the gym when I'm in there, right? But I want to make it in. Same thing with food, right? I'm not like actively trying to like lose weight or do anything crazy, right? I feel like that's a lot of people that would listen to the podcast. They're not ready to like kick it up a notch, but they know they will in the future, but they have to take the initial steps first, right? The 2+2 rule is a great rule to follow if this is you. The 2+2 rule is you don't have two, quote, bad meals in a row, right? And you don't miss 2 workouts in a row. Okay. So, Joel, for example, this would be something that you could follow today. Hey, we missed our carbs for our first meal of the day. Great. We're not going to miss our carbs for the next meal, right? Or let's say you missed your workout this morning. No problem. You're not going to miss your workout tomorrow, right? If you follow this rule, you will almost not miss a beat in terms of some of the consistency metrics that you need to be at a maintenance or even be seeing results over the long term, right? So the 2+2 rule, it works really great if you're someone that struggles with the consistency part, the sabotage part. And so, yeah, just utilize that if that's kind of where you're at in your journey.
There you go. So yeah, so if you want to learn more things like the 2+2 rule, then there are links in the description. Those will help you learn more. You follow the Instagram. He's posting all kinds of stuff on there, and free macro breakdowns and blueprint stuff, and I don't know, you got all kinds of stuff you're doing on there. I can't even keep track of it sometimes because you're an animal on the Instagram. But if you want to learn more about that stuff, check out those links in the description. All right, the next one is, now wait a minute, Gab, I thought we have to eat less to lose weight. Eat less, move more, right? It's that simple. Why
I
would we have
know.
difficulty losing weight if we're under eating?
I know. It's crazy. It's almost like if it were that simple, everyone would just be happy, right? All right, so let's talk about this. There's a lot of misinformation out there of people oversimplifying this. You may have heard of like you're in starvation mode or things like that, which is absolutely not at all what I am about to say. However, what I am going to tell you is that your body is extraordinarily intelligent and we are built to survive, right? So if you are chronically underfueling yourself and you are in a caloric deficit forever, eventually your metabolism is going to just slow down enough to be able to survive at what you are giving it. So that's why it is really challenging to just eat less, because at some point we run out of runway, right? How much less can we possibly be eating? So oftentimes when somebody has been a chronic dieter or has been in a caloric deficit for a very long time, the solution is to feed them more so that we can sort of reestablish a fueling pattern that we can then cut from. So as much as it is true that you do need to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight, oftentimes we need to reestablish that caloric deficit by improving the metabolism through eating more.
All right, there you go. Next one. This is important.
Oh,
Under eating's keeping, like, not allowing you to sleep. What?
This manifests in a lot of ways too. Number one, I get people who wake up in the middle of the night hungry, right? That is not normal. That should not be happening. We have to fix that. But number two, if you are, again, a chronic undereater, you may have a really hard time falling asleep. You may have a hard time staying asleep, waking up multiple times in the middle of the night. If you are under eating, you are impacting those hormones that actually help you to fall and stay asleep. You are putting your body in a state where it can't relax, it can't shut down. And so if you are somebody who's waking up a lot in the middle of the night, there's a good possibility that you're not eating enough, even if what's waking you up is not pure hunger, which is, something that also does happen.
Yeah. Man, sleep is important too. Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, of course, what happens when you're not getting enough sleep, right? You're hungrier than usual throughout the day.
Yeah.
So you may be eating too much during the day or making bad choices or eating garbage and then trying to restrict to make up for it. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. That's kind of like that crash cycle, right? Like you crash diet and then because all these things going on.
Yeah.
All right. We call this being hangry around our house.
Yeah. 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 If you are always in a bad mood, if you are always grouchy, if it doesn't take a lot to upset you, maybe you're just like extraordinarily hungry and you've just been living this way. I know oftentimes if I am really grouchy or in a bad mood, I either need a snack or a nap. Like I'm just a toddler in, a 32-year-old body. So like we need to be making sure that you are eating enough, because it's going to impact your emotions, right? It impacts all the way that you interact in the world. And so if you are somebody who is like very easily upset, there's a good chance you're not eating enough.
Yeah. Justin, are you somebody that gets hangry?
A little bit maybe, but not as bad as some other people that I know.
Anybody you want to call out?
I mean, my wife, I live
Oh,
with her. So yeah, she can definitely get hangry because my wife can eat a lot. She trains hard and stuff. So
yeah, that's good. Do you
yeah.
keep like little snacks with you so that when she starts to get hangry, you're like, here, babe.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Snickers commercial, like
Something like gotta have something.
yeah. All right. This last one, I never even thought about this. I mean, the workouts sucking, being moody and irritable, those things, I think are, probably people could understand that. Right. But this last one, I don't know. This one threw me for a loop when I saw it. Getting sick often. What does that got to do with me eating?
Well, Joel, if you are not feeding your immune system is not going to function. Having low energy availability is going to impact your body's ability to fight off germs, to fight off infections and things like that. So if you are, especially in the wintertime, if you are constantly sick, if you feel like you walk into the gym and someone across the room sneezes, you're done for, you're probably not eating enough. It takes energy to defend the body against, little like foreign invaders. And so if you're not eating enough and you're constantly crumbling to somebody else's illness, there's a really good possibility that eating more would benefit you. So oftentimes when I have clients who in the wintertime are getting sick a lot, it's a sign that it's time to take them out of their cut, give them some food, give them a bit of a boost, help them to get through this time period, and then continue to cut when, there's less of a threat.
Interesting. All right. Well, and that's pretty important too, especially for CrossFitters in the gym. I recently read something that, of the amount of germs that are found like on the dumbbells and stuff. Like it was like the things that have the most germs on them are like dumbbells and all the things that people share and stuff.
Yeah.
So especially this time of year too. So if you're in the gym, you're grabbing those dumbbells and stuff, and people aren't wiping them off afterwards before you. You need a strong immune system. So.
A couple of other ones that we missed, I think, are important. These 5 are probably the most important, but I would say a couple of other signs that you're undereating are like poor recovery. So we talk about the fueling side like during the workout, but what about like after, right? So just like chronically sore for, multiple days, feeling super tired after workouts, right? Even for the rest of the day, just indicates that like you're not recovering properly. And a lot of our recovery comes from how much we eat, what the macronutrient distribution is for what we're eating, and then the sleep part, which as we know also is very impactful, right? I would say another thing is irregular periods, especially obviously for women, right, where they're not even experiencing the full menstrual cycle and not menstruating at all. This is can be extremely dangerous and can have long-term effects for women as well. And so if that's something that's happened regularly, aside from like if you're on any sort of contraception or whatever, and maybe you usually don't get a period, it can be hard to tell. But this is something I would also be looking out for, as a female that thinks you might be, under eating and in general, right? And then I would say, low sex drive, and just libido can also be an indicator like, maybe something's like seriously, off, right? So it's a lot of different, signs, but it's it's something to keep note of for sure. So,
Yeah. No, those are good one. You mentioned the sore thing, and I remember seeing this.
yeah, Carlene.
Carlene Matthews, right? Is that?
Yeah, Carlene Matthews. She's a CrossFit Games athlete. She placed third this past year. I've been working with her over the past year, and she trains like a beast, man. So
She just said that I can't get sore. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. You know, someone training at probably the intensity level and the volume that she's training at.
Mhm.
But she said CBG made me realize it's my nutrition. Post workout / training session, I'm consuming creatine and something else. But she says my nutrition intake. I also eat enough carbs to fuel my workouts and recovery.
Yeah.
So there you
Fuel
go.
and recovery. It's both. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought
And
that
she doesn't she doesn't track macros either.
exactly. Yeah. So when you said being sore, it like I was like, oh yeah, I remember just seeing something about that.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That's a great post there. All right. Well, thank you guys for those solid signs there. But that's all we got for you guys today. And if you want to learn more, again, if you want to learn more about what CBG can do to help you, click the link in the description. Book a call. The first 5 people that book a call from this video are going to get a special promotion. Justin cemented it. It's from the man himself. He said he's going to do it. So be the first 5 people to book that call and get that special promotion. And CBG, find out how CBG might be able to change your life, get you working out good, so your workouts don't suck. You're eating enough. Gab will get on you if she thinks you're undereating. So, all right. So that's it for today. So for Justin, for Gab, I'm Joel. Quit tracking those macros. We'll see you next time. Peace out.